Swamin Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rajvyati Karunya Sudhabhivrishtya Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste. Yat Kirtanam, Yat Smaranam, Yadikshanam, Yad Vandanam, Yat Shravanam, Yadarhanam, Lokasya Sadyo Vidhunoti Kalmasham Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namah Vichakshanaya Charanopasadanat Sangam Vyudasyo Bhayato Antaratmanah Vindantihi Brahmagatim Gataklamaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namah Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namah Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namah. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. As I have been telling you, that though the retreat is a platform where all of you have come, and from morning till evening for the last 3 days you are hearing, but for actual practice, whatever has to be told, it needs one-to-one interaction, which we are not able to give. But still, some general practices we are telling you, and I feel that in this half an hour, I can only touch on that. And I have been telling that only, that every moment should be divinized. And the problem that we have is we consider our spiritual practices, devotional practices of 1 hour or 2 hours to be a divine moment, or throughout the days, if you get time, you listen, maybe you read some books, those to be spiritual and devotional, and rest of your active life you consider as non-devotional and non-spiritual. So divinizing every moment, and what I have been discussing, constantly remaining in the touch of your own inner self presence, whether you call it God, self, Brahman, or whatever, that supreme power which is making us active within us, remaining within us, and that supreme power which is displayed and expressed in this whole universe. We have to constantly, or at least at times, remember that I am the part and I am being activated by the Supreme. I am God's. God is within me. God is around me, surrounding everything. So this simple thing, I think in all these 3 days, I have been telling you that it's a very simple thing where you have to use your mind and intelligence. You cannot be mechanical. All our devotional practices, even meditation, it becomes a routinous thing, a routine. Every worship and every sadhana, it becomes routinous unless you apply your mind and intelligence and question yourself that through these, am I getting the qualities of a devotee? Am I getting the qualities of a seeker or a jnani. In our Shastras it says that whatever are the characteristics of a jnani or a knower is the sadhana for those who are seeking. That is, we want the knowledge. You are knowing the knowledge. Very true. Maybe you're understanding it very well. Concepts are very clear. But how is it that you are not able to apply it in your day-to-day life? How, in spite of all worship, all spiritual practices, fear is still there. There is, divisional attitude. Mind is not even to ups and downs and happiness and unhappiness. Affliction is there, afflictedness is there. So, through all this, if we want to really get established in the knowledge, and maybe it will take time, but you must know that if you start developing the qualities of a knower, qualities of a devotee, at every step, actually, you are going towards that goal. And every step will give you joy, an expansion, a peace, which is, like the deepest levels of the ocean. It is very, very deep and profound. And this spirituality actually will help us. These simple, simple thoughts, whatever I have told, I can tell you, you can reflect on that. What was Swamiji and Nato Swamiji are saying, it is all for doing sadhana in everyday life so that you can become divine in your everyday working, thoughts, speech, interactions, activities, and everything. Now, the question is that even though we want it, we want to remember, we want to practice it, whatever you are learning, you feel inspired that you will do it. Still we forget. Why? Still we are getting attracted by the short-lived pleasures of the world. What world gives us is short-lived pleasure. In Bhagavad Gita there is a sloka, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. I think it is in the 5th chapter. So it says that our senses are going outside, it is perceiving so many things and wants to acquire everything, it wants to enjoy and get hold of whatever each sense is interested in. But one must know, if you are intelligent, one must know that they are dukkha yonayaha, womb of misery. Suppose we get something, we are very happy, but along with it comes the anxiety that it will be over one day. We won't be able to keep everything that we like. The very ideal situations that we have in life will not stay. And leave aside everything. Say your whole life has been very good, but the body will age, it will have disease, and there will be a fear, oh, what are going to be my last days? Will I have a lot of pain? Will there be anybody to look after me? Like this. So, dukkha yonaya. So, whatever we get from the world, the worldly objects, they are dukkha yonaya, is womb of misery. And the happiness that we get, we definitely get happiness. Whatever we want, suppose we get it, we get happiness. Sometimes that happiness will be a little for a longer duration also. But they are going to end. So they say adyantavantaha. They'll come and disappear. They will come and end. So nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha means those who are wise, those who are having intelligence, they do not rejoice in such pleasures. So they look for what? They look for pleasure which will independent of any object. And that is what we are constantly saying, that pleasure, that joy, that delight, that light, And the brilliance is within us, in our soul. And if you want to think of God, it is in God, thinking that God is inside me. Suppose you feel that self, you cannot, it's an abstract thing. Think of God. So God is everywhere. God is controlling us. Everything belongs to us. So when we simply think that nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to that source who has created us, who is sustaining us, in whom we will get dissolved, and thinking that every action that we do with our limbs, the senses are working, the mind is working, the intelligence is working, all is coming from that source. Our capability, our intelligence, our efficiency, and also the negative qualities, say our fear, our indecisions, our confusions, every bhava, every sentiment, every emotion is from that single source, which is the constant presence. So I have been telling you that we are our own hindrances. We become our own hindrances. When we get a little time, we do not think about this. Or even while working, you can stop for a moment. Suppose you are doing a very important work, which is in your office. Just give a little moment and think that actually that I am able to do this work. Or I'm anxious also whether I'll be able to do this work and please my boss. That fear or anxiety, all is coming from that source. So immediately what has happened? You have got connected to the source. And then immediately you have to give your mind to the work. You cannot be sitting and thinking of that at that time. But every time, suppose you are cooking, suppose you have gone to get your groceries and vegetables, you are picking up something. Think that, oh, these materials. It is also, we don't think that a fruit or a vegetable, I am not growing. Where from it is growing? Who is growing? See the flowers that if every day we are bringing and placing here, who is giving colors to these flowers? Different is coming from the same earth and different shape, different fragrance, different shape, different beauty. Who is giving it? We are not giving. We might have tended, that's all. But still, even after tending, sometimes our plants do not grow well. So, okay, that is what is also coming from God. So good, bad, profit, loss, happiness, unhappiness, fear, and courage, every dvandva, the pair of opposites, all come from the same source. That in between your day-to-day life, in your life on activity and interaction, you must remember this. Now, I again come back to that question, why is it that we don't remember? Why is it that understanding the importance of remembering, even though I'm saying that you cannot remember always, intermittently remembering, and if you made this practice, I told you yesterday, there should be yearning, mumuksha. There should be also practice, abhyasa, effort. And there should be vairagya. That is, whatever is unnecessary and is stopping your spiritual pursuit or hindering your spiritual pursuit or making you distracted, remove those. And grow better qualities. What will make your mind become calm, tranquil, restful. So though we are all understanding it, many of you come and say, oh, it's very difficult. We are not at all remembering. We just get carried away by so many distractions. Why is it that? Because it needs to grow some sattvic qualities. We must have a discipline of sattvic discipline. In everything, all the senses should be made to grow towards sattva guna. And how will you do it? We do not know. You should start liking what are the Sattvaguna qualities. What happens when Sattvaguna increases? Sattvaguna actually gives a lot of light, brilliance, clarity, harmony, sensitivity. It becomes very sensitive. It starts, the buddhi becomes very clear. The buddhi understands that this is not good for me and that is not bad. Even though we understand it, unless that Sattvaguna is increased, you will not be able to have a strong resolve. You will get distracted. Rajoguna will come and overpower you. So what is necessary? All the effect of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, you should try to remove slowly. So how will you know what is the effect of Rajoguna and Tamoguna? Now there is no time. I hope Nutan Swamiji has told you and Swamiji also has told. So you have to read also. But I would tell you some simple qualities. Yesterday we took some qualities of the bhaktas, and today I will take from, I'll see my watch, Baba. So today I will take some qualities from the 13th chapter, which is very, very important for, I think, every seeker and especially householders. I would like to tell you that, throughout your day, you should feel that you are very blessed. You are blessed and you are seekers. Your first identity, all of you, everybody has the first identity as I am the child of my parents, either a son or a daughter. Then you have got married, and maybe before that you go to the school, you become identities also. I'm a son and a daughter of my parents, and I'm a student. Then you start working, so you become an employee of this organization. You never forget it. Then suppose you get married, then you become a husband or a wife, then again a father and a mother. Now, all of you have these identities which are imprinted strongly in your mind. Wherever you go, you are not going to forget this. But what we forget is the basic and the real identity that I am the self, I am the soul. I am not this body, mind, intelligence, but which I call I. And the fact that that God is within us, the self is within us, inside us, enlivening us, activating us, and making us do everything in this life. So this identity, when you start seeking, you have known it. Your first identity should be, I am a seeker of truth. I am a seeker of my true identity. Or if you want to take it in a devotional manner, I am a devotee. Then you will find, your mind will start asking, what are the qualities of a devotee? What are the qualities of a seeker? I feel that I am a devotee, I worship, I chant, but is that so? Or God has given some qualities which a devotee must also imbibe, and they must personify those qualities. So the books are there, you read. If you have, I said that, very disappointed, a very good audience. In only one thing I am disappointed that all of you are not asking questions. Very simple question. Yesterday I said that if you don't have a question, at least write this, why I am not having a question. So that is also something we can reply. That is, why you are not having a question is it you are not going deep into what is being heard. Hearing and going away. That is why you are not having a question. This simple question should come to everybody, that I am very much interested in this. I've been worshipping also, I'm meditating also, but still why I am gripped by anxiety and fear even now? Still why I have some blameful tendencies, or still why I am not satisfied fully? These qualities are common. These questions are common. And you should have that straightforwardness to ask the question. The openness. Don't feel that, oh, silly question. Will anybody feel bad? Feel that, oh, such an idiotic question, why it is being asked? Never feel like that. I said many times that the questions, if you're a seeker, the questions should be a question of life and death. I want to know, what is my lack? Why? Leave aside everything. Why is it that with my spiritual interest and my pursuits, I am not getting rid of fear and anxiety? Is it not? Fear and anxiety. You need not be growing as a devotee or whatever. Your question should be that, what should I do to get rid of my fear and anxiety? That should be the question. That yesterday I was giving an example, that the parents are constantly saying, my daughter is not getting married, please give blessings. But never saying that, please give me that knowledge or that guidance by which we can get rid of that fear and anxiety. So, I come to some of the qualities, some of the characteristics of a jnani, or the lakshanas or characteristics, which defines a jnana, qualities of a jnani actually, in the 13th chapter. So, it says, amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam. That is, one must sublimate pride and ego. One should not have that pride and ego. Then, adambhitvam, non-ostentation. Do you understand? Many times what we are feeling fearful inside, but will not speak out. And even admit to ourselves that this is my lack. Suppose there are many undesirable tendencies in us. We fail to admit them to ourselves. And we should be very grateful if somebody points out. Say somebody says that you are a very irritable person. We get very annoyed with that person. Why I have been told like this? I am so loving, I am so kind, I did this, I did that. But actually, any comment from anybody, we should feel very, very grateful. Because sometimes we are not able to understand oneself. So you see whether whatever has been told about you is true. If it is true, then work on it. If it is not true, simply ignore it. Then tolerance, kshanti. Arjavam is forgiveness, straightforwardness. No, shanti is tolerance or forgiveness. Then arjavam is straightforwardness. Then acharyopasanam, adoring and serving the teacher. Shaucham is cleanliness. Cleanliness of what? Body as well as mind. Yesterday I said that going to pilgrimage, taking bath in holy river, taking bath in a holy river only will be a bath to the body. The purity of the mind comes only by growing good qualities, the qualities of a seeker, devotee or a jnani. And purity of the mind. Actually ultimately it is the lack of desirelessness, possessiveness and ego. And ultimately it is understanding that I am the self. So, shaucham, stairyam, stability, and atma vinigraha, that is self-control, self-restraint. Next comes the indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha. This is the important thing. So, the senses should be restrained and one should not have any kind of egoism. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. That is, how will you, that you are not able to increase your intensity in seeking. Your intensity is going towards the worldly things. In seeking, it is not developing. Why? Because you are not looking at the world and understanding it, that the world is ephemeral, it cannot give you permanent happiness, it will only give you short-term happiness. So be intelligent, apply your mind and intelligence, and looking at Janma is birth, Mrityu is death, Jara is old age, Vyadhi is disease. From all these, always we are getting afflicted. Even in the birth of a child, suppose you are expecting a child and the child gets stillborn, or after birth the child has died. So many things can happen. So having the samatva of attitude in the mind, expecting that what you expect, always it will not happen, understanding that, and looking at everything, that everything is changeful. This life is changeful. This life which we are leading is changeful. So we must start understanding that from this changeful life, we will not get a permanent happiness. So every incident, you must try to assess and understand what it is. Then, asaktir anabhishvangaha putra dara grihadishu. This is very applicable. That is, one should not cling and have attachment to family and possessions, then prestige, name, fame, wealth, property, acquisitions, etc. All this will go. It's not that you should not do your duty and take up your responsibilities. Do everything mukta sangaha. Knowing that, do everything. You have to do your best. You have to put your children in the best schools, educate them well, look after them, look after the family. Do everything, but knowing very well that this is not the ultimate. We do everything thinking that, well, if we settle the children, we are happy. But, yes, you are happy, but know very well that there is an end to that also. So never forget the highest goal, the self, the permanent, the knowledge that I am the soul, I am unmovable, imperishable, changeless. That thought should never be forgotten. Stay there and do everything. Stay there and do everything. Yasmin sitona dukkhena guruna api vichalyate. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tatah. I think I don't have to explain the meaning again. That gain by which you will feel that there is nothing to be acquired anymore. Nothing is supreme or superior than this gain. And remaining where, you will feel that you will see and you will experience that even if there is huge tragedy happening in your life, you will not be affected because you are able to be in that innermost core of the self, which is like the deep ocean, tranquil and calm. So I have to tell you this only, that make everything divine. I hope in all this, at least in this retreat, this much we have been able to make you feel that everything, every moment has to be divine. When we get up in the morning, we are actually getting up because the Supreme Presence has wished it. When we sleep at night, we may sleep on the bed, but when our eyes close, we are having no control over it. When we wake up in the morning, whether our eyes will wake up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, we have no control. Unless we put an alarm. So, understanding this, that there is a controller who controls. He is the master. He is controlling all this galaxy, sun, moon, stars, everything. The coming of the seasons, the seasonal fruits, the rain, the snow, the summer, winter, everything. He's controlling everything. And He's controlling similarly us, His creation. And all our sentiments, all our profits, all our loss, all our emotions, sentiments, feelings, ideas, ideals, plans, everything. Can we not think sometimes? And what is the time for thinking? Don't tell me you don't have time. I've told you many times, please remember at least this from me, that you have your exclusive time when you are taking bath, when you are dressing yourself, when you are lying for sleeping. Nobody disturbs you. Everybody says that house situation is not good. People are not harmonious. They don't like my spirituality. We make hindrances to ourselves, and I think nobody else makes that hindrance to us. At least this much time is yours. Okay. I think I have done. So I tell you, this is a concluding session. I embrace all of you, keep all of you in my heart with great fondness and love. You will be with me always. And I tell you, please come to our ashram, at least for a few days, stay there. I know when you go to India, you have to meet your relatives and all, but know that you have a spiritual home in our ashram. So you must come and meet us. Okay. Jai Guru.